We've seen the current Pan-African foreign president, David Masanga. I think this man is determined to get freedom for the oppressed in Africa. He's determined to get justice for the oppressed in Nigeria and Africa at large. He said he's determined to get freedom for Nnamdi Kanu and get freedom for Samuel Ekpa. He said enough of the injustice in Africa, and is bent and is determined to get freedom for the oppressed. Just recently, he made a statement that what the US government and Donald Trump have ordered for a US court to resume or to begin Tinubu's drug related issues. He said his effort is beginning to pile up globally as regards the terrorism and the continuous killing of Christians here in Nigeria. He said in his era, the killings and the oppression of the common man will end during his era. And that's what everybody is wanting to see, because Luna is a international trained in a lawyer, and we are waiting for what he will do, because this man is determined. We see him come out every now and then to talk about all the talk against the killings of innocent Christians in Nigeria and Africa at large. Just recently, he said Tinubu is in panic, and Asorock is also in panic. That's why Tinubu sent the Vice President Kasim Shettima to represent him and represent Nigeria at the current United Nations General Assembly meeting. Tinubu sent Shettima, but Shettima himself, we've seen people on social media come out to say that what Shettima himself is one of the founder or the people sponsoring terrorism here in Nigeria and in Africa. That Shettima himself should be arrested. He should be arrested because we've seen pictures of him, meeting or dialoguing, eating with terrorists, the so-called bandits here in Nigeria. And this is so shameful that in Nigeria, every day now and then, killing every now and then, and the government are not doing anything as regards this. It's not, and it's becoming shameful. It's becoming shameful and becoming painful that Nigeria will come to this level of insecurity. We've seen the military. The military are supposed to be defending the people of the country, are the one interviewing or dialoguing with terrorists coming to a peace pact meeting with ammunition, with guns, with sophisticated weapon. Is this not shameful?
Hello, great people. These are not the best of times for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the U.S. District Court in Colombia has ordered the U.S. security agencies, including the FBI, the CIA, and the DEA, that is the Drug Enforcement Administration, to release all relevant records pertaining to Bola Ahmed Tinubu's alleged drug dealing in the United States. The judge handling the case, Justice Barry Owell, gave the ruling that every record, anything that pertains to Bola Ahmed Tinubu's drug dealing, should be released to the public. You will recall that the case of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's involvement in narcotics dealings has been a subject of controversy, so much so that the treaty speak during the 2023 presidential election, and now it has resurfaced again, and the US has given a ruling that will either make or mar President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What I can tell you is that if you are the type that don't like long reading, or if you read something that is long, you may not be able to make too much sense out of it because you are not of a related field. Well, as they say in Street Balance, I got you. So this is one video that you should not miss for anything, because apart from the details of what transpired in court and the ruling, we would also be diving into what is the need for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Is this the end of Bola Ahmed Tinubu? How can Bola Ahmed Tinubu save himself? What is likely to happen to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and of what disadvantage is this to Nigeria, and if there's any advantage thereof? We'll be looking at a whole lot of issues on this episode with your show plug, Dr. Omosoladeji. First, what I can tell you is that if the U.S. agencies go ahead to release the document, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is surely in trouble. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be in trouble because everything that is documented as far as the case is concerned, will be released. Now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu would not have been in trouble if he is a private citizen and he just has a case in court. But for a president of Nigeria, if they release the document, people will scrutinize it word for word, comma by comma. People will make meaning out of it, will make interpretation out of it. And at the end of the day, this may kind of like bring an unprecedented disgrace to the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, how did this case evolve? Some people have been saying, well, we don't need this judgment. When we need the judgment to tender as evidence in the court, the U.S. government did not provide it. Well, this case has been in the U.S. court since 2023, and that is the Biden era. You will recall that it was President Donald Trump that took over from the immediate past president, Joe Biden. And if you look at the international dynamics, the Joe Biden administration, which is an offspring of the Barack Obama administration, because Biden was the vice of Barack Obama, has always favored the APC. You recall the emergence of Buhari, the role Obama played and all that. Now, the government in the United States is that of Donald Trump, which is of the opposition party, the Republican. So the case has been in the U.S. court since 2003, which is the Biden era. And the case was filed by an activist called Aaron Greenspan. Aaron Greenspan filed the case in 2023, making 12 FOI requests. Aaron Greenspan filed the case, and when he made the 12 FOI request, which is the Freedom of Information request, he was turned down because the U.S. security agencies activated what they call Glomar response. Now, this is where it gets interesting. What is Glomar response? You see, Glomar response is a neither here nor there response. If you are involved with anything that pertains to the United States and the United States do not want to grant you an information that will help you, then the U.S. government, for their own, whether economic reasons, political reasons, or social reasons, or maybe national security, they would activate what they call the Glomar response. The Glomar response is refusing to confirm or deny the existence of records. Now, you may want to imagine that Glomar, what is Glomar? And the name Glomar evolved out of a case of a ship called the Glomar Explorer. There was a ship that it involved the United States some years ago. It's called the Glomar Explorer, and that particular ship, when information was sought as regards the interest or what the United States had to do with that ship, the United States gave a neither here nor there response. So it was after the U.S. legal stroke intelligence agencies used that response. After onward, the U.S. government have been using it, and they've tagged it the Glomar response. So in the case of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when Aaron Greenspan went to court, they activated the Glomar response. When Aaron Greenspan went to court, the CIA responded, the FBI responded, the DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration, and different security agencies, they responded, and they were all giving the Glomar response, which is that they refused to confirm or deny the existence of records. Let me give you a practical example that may help in this case. For instance, if you are doubting that, okay, this Omosoladeji that claims he has a PhD, does he really have a PhD? And you now write to my school that confirm the PhD of an Omosoladeji, and the school decide to say that, well, we cannot kind of like confirm or deny the existence of his record. That is a Glomar response. If I decide to write to your school and your school wrote me back that, well, we cannot deny or confirm the existence of your academic record, that is a Glomar response. But then Aaron Greenspan pressed further and they decided that, well, he's going to push forward. And now in 2025, the United States District Court in Colombia, under Justice Barry Orwell, decide to give a favor in favor of Aaron Greenspan. I must not fail to point out that Aaron Greenspan is an associate of David Hundeyin. Aaron Greenspan is an associate of David Hundeyin. They were kind of like pushing the case together. So for David Hundeyin to be involved, perhaps maybe one or two Nigerian politicians may be involved as well, because if you look at the funding and all of that and the political kind of interest that is attached to it. But then what is in this for Nigeria? What is in this for Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Well, for this kind of reason is why nations don't allow people with questionable character to rule in order to avoid costly compromise. Because as it is now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is vulnerable, and because he is vulnerable, then he may take decision that may either rule Nigeria or not be in the best interest of Nigeria. So if you look at countries around the world, the country that Bola Ahmed Tinubu can be a president is the country like Nigeria or some other weak African countries. But in the West, it will be difficult because of the word costly compromise. As it is right now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if he knows that he has some criminal record in the United States, he will be very desperate. And as he gets desperate, his decision may be the one that will protect his interest and not the interest of the country. But then there is a lifeline for Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the sense that Bola Ahmed Tinubu may eventually get out of this based on the personality of the US President Donald Trump. The US President Donald Trump is a businessman. He appears so in the sense that Trump is somebody that hates anything that has to do with the Democrats, but then he is a businessman, and businessmen are always willing to compromise. And that is why I don't know the kind of like political advisors that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has, but the truth is that the fact is that those documents may eventually be released, but at the same time, Bola Ahmed Tinubu can kind of like save himself if he decides to play game with Trump, but then it would be at the expense of Nigeria. And I'll give you an example. The Biden administration was helping Ukraine. When Trump took over from Biden, Trump is willing to help Ukraine only if Ukraine will grant the United States access to its resources. Imagine that. Trump is willing to continue to help Ukraine if Ukraine will grant Trump access to its resources. In this case now, Trump may also be willing to help Bola Ahmed Tinubu if Bola Ahmed Tinubu will grant US unfettered access to Nigerian markets and to Nigerian resources. And that's why I said that so long as Donald Trump does not like anything that evolves from the Democrats, then him being a businessman can be the lifeline for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Trump hates anything Democrat, but he's a businessman. So that businessman issue can be what Bola Ahmed Tinubu can use to save himself. But the truth is that Nigeria's sovereignty is currently subjected to two countries, and that's shameful. Nigerian sovereignty at the moment is currently subjected to two countries. It's currently the remote control of two countries, one the United States, two France. The first one, the United States, by virtue of the drug dealings and the drug case and the documents and record that is in possession of the United States. Secondly, the France, by virtue of Mr. President's apparent frequent medical tourism to France. That has made Nigeria's sovereignty, because Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the symbol of Nigeria's sovereignty. So Nigeria's sovereignty is shamefully being compromised under two different countries at the moment. And the truth is that these countries are parasitic countries. These are countries that will suck the lifeline of your resources dry, and that is why this may just be the beginning of hardship for Nigerians, because the interest of those countries will naturally bring more hardship to Nigerians, and that is why Nigerians need to brace up, because there will be more hardship to come. But what I can say is that in the midst of all of this, if Bola Ahmed Tinubu has truly been involved in narcotics truly, well, I would advise him that if the history of Nigeria is written, when they write it and they reach 2023 to 2027, whether anybody likes it or not, they will mention Bola Ahmed Tinubu as past president. So if he truly has any records, whether they release it or not, the fact is that he should not contest in 2027 if he knows that he has done any, what they call mago dealings. But if he knows that he is playing, then they can proceed to contest, because at the end of the day, for a judge to have given judgment against him, even if he decides to appeal the case, at the end of the day, he may end up being embarrassed by the US Supreme Court. And one thing that we need to look at in all of this is the APC supporters. You will recall that during the issue between Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and Senate President Godswill Akpabio, the APC supporters were saying that, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan should release evidence. You want to see the evidence. They were politicizing it. Now, you, the same APC supporter, will you be screaming out that Donald Trump and the US security agency should go ahead and release the evidence? That's what I want to see from APC supporters or Bola Ahmed Tinubu sympathizers. And for some of you that will be saying that, well, it is no longer relevant. No, it is relevant, because according to the argument of Justice Berry Owell, she asserts that whether anything that pertains to Bola Ahmed Tinubu's privacy is not as important as the public interest, because he is a public official. Because Bola Ahmed Tinubu stated in his argument that, well, they shouldn't release it for privacy sake, but the judge ruled that no, if you're a public official, public interest in your past and your person is more important than anything you are trying to hide. And you will recall that Reno Omokri said Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a non-drug lord. He said he went to Chicago University and Chicago State University, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu graduated from that particular institution. But he also claimed that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a non-drug lord. He wants people to believe that Bola Ahmed Tinubu's certificate is genuine. Now, will he also want people to believe, as he asserted, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is truly a non-drug lord? So a lot of issues, but shout out to the independence of the U.S. District Court for them to be able to give this landmark judgment. Whether the judgment is released or whether the documents are released or not, one thing is sure, that the U.S. court has written his name in gold, because I doubt if a Nigerian court would have given such judgment in the interest of the people. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu should tread carefully. But I can assure you that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will do everything in his power, even if it's for him to, in quote, sell Nigeria, even if it's for him to hire lobbyists, if it's for him to appeal, he will do his best to make sure that he covers his tracks for as long as possible. That's if he has anything to hide. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omosoladeji. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course I have great interesting videos coming your way. Till I see you again, always remember that I love you all sincerely.
There is no offense. How do you let me look here? Madam, these people are simply saying Biafra, Nigeria is no more. And they have the right in Europe to say so. Two, Nigerian system itself has said they don't, the court relied on intelligence from Nigeria. Asanda, which Nigerian intelligence can give you the credibility? It's corrupt, underfunded, compromised by terrorists. They have recruited the terrorists in intelligence system. So the information, Finland collapsed in its all democratic format. When it said it relied on Nigeria's intelligence information. Anybody can come up and say, Asanda is doing this, that. Do you go and use that intelligence? Finland is one country that is now changing from proper democratic institutions to being corruptly entering Africa by paying huge sums to get contracts. Finland has been given contracts with Nigeria. Nigeria has given them to build dams, gas pipelines, and so many dispensaries. They are corrupt. They just wanted to get this guy to appease the Nigerian government. If you look at the evidence, I've read the entire evidence of how the three judges came to a conclusion. I bet if it was in the South African court, it would be thrown out on the first day. There is no judgment where you say you use the intelligence, Nigerian intelligence, when Nigeria itself has terrorists, part of the intelligence system in Nigeria. They are terrorists, and they have admitted. And they have admitted they have recruited some. So which intelligence information did they use? I'm telling you, that sentence is going to be quashed by the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg. It will be quashed. That guy will walk out free.
So what now then for Simon Ekpa, this Finnish citizen of Nigerian descent? Must he go the human rights route, as you say?
I want to tell you, originally, these people wanted to kidnap this man quietly at night. Thanks God. People started going to European court somewhere. And, volunteers stopped it and told Finland that you are in trouble. We know what you are doing. They wanted to take him to, without even going through the court. It is, this man is a Finnish, is a Finnish citizen. He has been in Finland for over 30 years. Why do you now, where do you take him? What has he done? He's simply saying Nigeria needs to be rearranged. All of us in Africa know that Nigeria has collapsed. All of us in Africa know there is no administration in Nigeria. All of us know that Nigeria is a country without a country and a state without a state. Governance has collapsed. And these people are simply saying, can we rearrange Nigeria and go away? It's like what I have told you about Congo. Biafrans are over 80 million people out of 250. There are people killing people there. There are terrorists coming down daytime and they take over your house, take over your farm, feed on your food, kill your people. They are there. It is happening. And African Union has not said any word. United Nations Security Council has not said any word. United Nations habitually sentenced Nigeria to a country which has abducted people, killed people, and if you have such reports, how can you sentence a man for 6 years when you know that the state you are dealing with is a rogue state?
All the terrorists would come.
There should be a form of intelligence.
The Nigerian military would come and disarm local population first. Yeah. They would disarm the local population.
Oh, not true.
Before in fact, what my friends in the Middle Belt have told me is that they have learned that once the military come around searching house to disarm local populace, even take their dang guns, they know that the Fulanis are coming behind. That is the level of complicity that you have.
So, well, then I've been vindicated.
It's not just you. Somebody came to national TV, Commodore Lawumi. You don't see spooks, military spooks, you don't have spies, you don't see them in daytime. That's not somebody you find on national TV. But the man was sufficiently alarmed by our security circumstances that he sat down in the TV channel, at the TV station of channels, and he said it on national TV that there are Boko Haram sponsors sat in the president's cabinet, and he had submitted a list of these persons to the president since 2016 and nothing had happened. And we are still talking about a suspicion.
Excuse me. You are saying that they should drop what? Their arms. Before carrying the arms, what happened? So they want to strategize again to kill us. Finish. That's the angle they are coming. In 1970, it was alleged that Ngozi Orabueze and the USB government were offered the opportunity for an ultimatum or a condition for the release of Simon Ekpa that their weapons should be dropped for, they should drop their weapon, that Ekpa will be given freedom to. We don't know how true it is, but if this condition was set by the Nigerian government or offered to the USB government, should they take this offer and give someone Ekpa the freedom he desires? My beloved brother, I have to tell you, listen to me and listen very, very carefully. Enough of this playing games. You are not playing with dogs. You are not playing with baby. You are not playing with toys. You are dealing with the people of integrity, men and women of integrity, men and women of the diaspora that have what it takes to have a nation and to build a nation. You cannot come to give us a condition. The one that you have been running, how far have you performed well? Why should you come and give us a nation? Has Nigeria ever produced somebody like Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? Both in Yoruba, both in Fulani. Have they produced somebody like that? What are you telling me? They shouldn't. No, excuse me. Please. Nobody. Excuse me. You are saying that they should drop what? Their arms. Before carrying the arms, what happened? So they want to strategize again to kill us. Finish. That is the angle they are coming. In 1970, I want to remind you, in the month of March, in 1970, after the war ended, the late Muhammadu Buhari and his members, his partner in crime, came to East, I think Ogbash, in Asaba area, in the name of making peace. Do you know how many people that was killed that very day? Do you know? In the name of making peace. After they finished their town hall meeting, unknowingly to the people, they said that he threw, oh yeah, everybody come outside, let us celebrate the unity and whatsoever. As many that came outside that day, none of them returned back home. Let Muhammadu Buhari carried it out. And they themselves, now, Tinubu and his crew want to carry it out again. That they should drop arms, they should stop defending, excuse me, they should stop defending and guiding and safeguarding the people of their land, so that the Fulanis will now have enough access. Was it not in this country, in Enugu to be precise, Enugu Forest? That was why he formed Enugu Forest Guard today. That you and I saw, that they saw a plane dropping arms to the Fulanis in the bush. Was it not in this country? On what purpose we are there dropping that arms to the Fulanis in the bush? And what was the intention of that? Then you are telling them to drop their arms, but you have not collected the one that you are giving to Fulanis. If they want those guys to do to concur or to come in agreement based on what they are claiming, trying to deceive, they cannot fool us. They can't deceive us because we are wiser than Nigeria. Those guys are wiser than Nigeria. Not that I'm supporting them too, but something lead to something. Do you know that? Even I think Gumi said they should give us gun, and I've been waiting for them to give me, and I said it on media in different television. I said it. I am ready to carry that gun. I'm ready, and if I carry it, I will carry it against Fulanis in my farmland in the east. Yes, I will carry it against them. I'm not afraid of saying it because they say give us gun. I'm ready to collect gun, and I will carry it against Fulanis. Yes.
But this offer not a good offer.
It's not a good offer. If they want a good offer, they should start it